Happy Wednesday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. Today, Pam and Scott are joining me as we tackle your great listener questions. And we get some fun questions about making the most of a stay for one night at the Grand Floridian for a family who's typically, like me, a value or moderate resort family, and they're getting ready to go on a cruise. So they're going to splurge and stay at the Grand. So we give them tips to make the most of that fun night at the Grand. We also talk about character dining for a bachelorette party of 6 ladies. Should they go to Tusker House, or we have some options over at Epcot. Also, park hopping or not for a family that's taken an 8-month-old plus some elementary age kids this July. Great discussion there. And we also talk about keys to the kingdom and more. So great questions on today's show. Don't forget, today's podcast always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today and support the show over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. It's one extra click, supports the show each and every time. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys are our all-stars. You make the show happen. Thank you so much for that. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2628 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're having a great week and staying warm here in the United States as we are trudging on through January. Everybody back from Marathon Weekend. A lot of folks looking forward to heading out to Disneyland here soon for the Disneyland Half Marathon. A lot of runners getting ready to head down to Princess here next month, and Festival of the Arts going on right now down at Epcot. Lots to look forward to here in the Disney universe. And we got a lot of questions that we're going to be answering today. Having a good time talking Disney. So thanks for checking in with us. Hopefully we're warming your hearts with some Disney talk. I don't know if we're doing that, but we're here. We're having fun. So stand by for lots of fun today. Joining me today to have some fun talk, your friend and mine up in the Mitten, where I bet you it's freezing just as well. I mean, we're all three in places where we shouldn't even exist. It's just you walk outside, it's like get punched in the nose cold. So Scotty G joining us from Must See Adventures. Check it out over on YouTube if you want to head out to Disneyland Paris for a little fun today. Scotty G, what's going on?
Happy Wednesday, Mike. I thought you were going to say the Keystone State at first.
Well, I didn't know whether when Ricky's not here, I don't know the order to go in. It messes me up, so I just threw.
I know because Ricky always wants to be first. We know that she always wants top billing.
Yeah, well,
I don't think me and Pam care either.
I don't either. Well, I'm like whoever gets it.
Ricky, with her contracts and her green M&Ms and all that stuff,
Right. Yeah. She has
Happy Wednesday.
A very long rider.
Exactly.
Multi.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Happy Wednesday. Happy to answer some listener questions, and it is cold. Holy cow, is it cold where we all are right now? I know it's cold in Florida even a little bit, but I'd still take that over the negative temperatures we have here in Michigan right now.
The rumor is that that storm that's going through the south right now, that's why Ricky cannot podcast. That she's out making a snowman, or I don't know, because Atlanta can't deal with. I hear 1 inch of snow just paralyzes Georgia. That's what I hear. I mean, Caleb told us about that Sunday night. So good luck, bro.
Yeah. Facts.
Exactly. All right. Pam Forrest, you're also joining us. She's co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. A little snow in Pittsburgh. Not a problem. You guys handle it fine. What's up, Pam?
True. We all have 4-wheel drive here. So every car we own actually has it. So yes, it does. And we do just drive in it because it can't shut down everything. I mean, we'd be shut down a lot.
I will say though, the other night I was, I kind of put the football game on sometimes for wallpaper as I'm, working and stuff. And there was the Steelers were playing their last game, and Mike Tomlin, your coach, there was a lot of memes on social media about how cold he looked, for being a Pittsburgh coach. He did look. He looked extremely cold on the sidelines, which shocked me.
Well, it was. I mean, it is cold here, like super cold. I'm saying, but we still have to do what we have to do, or
Exactly.
whatever. But when they predicted, here's what's so weird: we all know it, we all drive in it, we all are used to it, right? But when the storms are predicted, we still like the milk, bread, and eggs all gone, and toilet paper.
Yeah.
I like, and I always say this, like, who lives right there on the edge that like the inability to get to the grocery store for like a day or two would mean that you don't have toilet paper? Like, are you buying the 4-pack? Do they even still make the 4-packs anymore? I don't know. But like, I don't like to live that close to the toilet paper edge. I want to have extras in a closet. Yes, exactly.
You gotta be careful. I mean, you never know. I mean,
exactly. Milk, bread, eggs, whatever. Like we almost always have those. And if we couldn't get to the grocery store for a day or two, I would be okay either way. You know what I mean? But toilet paper, like, you have to have that. So I suggest that everyone just buys in bulk. Like,
I mean,
this
show brought to you by Costco.
right. Exactly.
That's right.
So,
I mean, there was
anyways.
a Buffalo Bills player this past weekend. He literally wore a coat under his uniform. I've never seen that before. I mean, dude had a coat on under his. I mean, like the opposite has been happening lately. Like, dudes have been going out there with like shirts off and warm ups. This guy decided he was going to go all in, like the other way. I'm just going to wear like a down coat under my jersey, which I appreciate that. As an old dude who's always freezing, dude, baller. Like, dude, wear the coat under your shirt, under
right?
your
At least a fleece or something.
Exactly. I ran the whole marathon. Like with the some people were out there. Caleb got cold, but dude, I didn't get cold because I wore my Nike combat stuff and
that's what I was gonna say. Like at home, I have a 32 degrees like long sleeve shirt that I have a few of them because I do get cold too. So I just have it on like in my house.
I'm just I embrace I wear layers at this point when it's in the 60s. I'm made for Florida and Missouri. So anyway, Natalie's got a question. Let's get to work here. She says, going down to May and doing only Epcot and the Animal Kingdom. Sounds like Scotty G's kind of trip. We want to do a character meal, but can't decide. Should we do Tusker House or one in Epcot? No kids, just 6 women in their 30s. LOL. All right. So, Tusker House or a character meal at Epcot. No kids. What say you? I'm going to throw it to Scotty G first. He is actually a character meal expert.
I do. I like all these character meals, and honestly, I've not done Tusker House in a while. I think I need to add that to my list. It's been a very long time since I've been there. But when I first heard the question here, my mind just went to Garden Grill for some reason as a good character meal. I really like how the restaurant rotates. You can ride Living with the Land afterward to add like a little extension of your character meal there. Plus, there'll be in May, the Flower and Garden Festival is going on, so I love spending a lot of time at Epcot during that time. So I'm leaning towards Garden Grill. I think the 6 ladies in their 30s would have a fantastic time at that meal.
So does your robot talk, by the way? Does it talk? It
was me. It's A, because she's hooked up to my security. Yeah. I know. She's hooked up to her security camera. So she tells us like when there's movement on the driveway or at the front door or whatnot.
I just want you to be secure. I was just wondering. Okay, no, back to Garden Grill though. No, I appreciate Garden Grill. So at Garden Grill, because I love Garden Grill. For one thing, the food is my jam there. So let's talk about the plus and minuses. You go to Tusker House, you're getting more. So Garden Grill is going to be family style, where Tusker House is going to be the buffet. You walk up there, you select yourself. It's going to be a little bit more like ethnic type food, a little bit more spicy, I would say, at Tusker House than Garden Grill. Garden Grill is more of like your kind of a home food, a little bit. Like you got your potatoes, your meats.
It's more interesting at Tusker House.
Okay.
Yeah, you have more variety.
I don't like to say spicy because I don't find it spicy. It is spiced, but not like a spicy hot.
I think it's like not your traditional theme park food, I would say too. So again, and that's great. That's kind of why I like Tusker House too. And I love the characters and the safari outfits. I just haven't been to it in a while. I haven't been to Garden Grill in a while either, but Garden Grill more recent. So I think there's been a menu change sort of to Tusker House, but I don't know how much has actually changed since the last time I've been there. Isn't that right, Pam? I think. Yeah,
I think so too. They do refresh it often. I think the other thing, I think for me, when I heard this question too, I thought, oh, Garden Grill, and I have like a nostalgia feeling with Garden Grill because,
Mhm.
of course, you get to see parts of the land and stuff like that. But food wise, I almost think I like Tusker House more. So, like, that's
Yeah.
it. And if you don't have that connection with Garden Grill, I don't know, is it appealing or just a gimmick? Like, I
True.
remember going as a kid, right? So, I don't know. Maybe it is still appealing though. I don't know. Mike, what do you think?
So the way I'm looking at it with 6 ladies that are kind of having a celebration is that, okay, I'm looking at like the bigger picture, right? When you're done with the meal, I think the meal is going to be great either place because you're going to get good food and you're going to have really good characters. You got the Chippendale characters at Garden Grill. You're going to have Donald Duck, Daisy Duck, I believe, is at Tusker House. Is Mickey and Minnie, I think, at Tusker House as well? In the
I
safari
want to say
outfits?
Mickey is there and like Goofy.
And Goofy, yeah. And they
The
got
last time, I don't know if that's changed though. And
And, like,
those are always
Donald.
subject to change though.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they're in the
Donald,
safari
Daisy,
gear.
Goofy, and Mickey, I think.
Yeah. Either way, you're gonna have some fun pictures with the characters either place, right?
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like looking at beyond just the meal, right? When you finish the meal or prior to the meal, either way, you're going to be at Epcot at Garden Grill, right? And with 6 ladies, dude, that's I think that's more of an opportunity for fun, like on this kind of a type of a trip than Animal. I think Animal Kingdom is a fun park too, but I'm just saying, like, for no kids kind of trip, like. And did she say when it was going to happen? Let me go back to Instagram.
In May.
In May. So you're going to be
that's
there
why
during Flower
the
and
Flower and
Garden.
Garden Festival's going on, and
Yeah. So I think that if I had my druthers, I'd probably rather, like with 6 ladies, probably have a good time. And like, it's a perfect time to be in Epcot. I'd rather probably end up in Epcot because the thing is, you could snack around, grab a drink with your friends, opportunity to do a lot more other things. Not that Animal Kingdom's not fun, but I think you might have more fun in Epcot as a whole going to Garden Grill. What other character meals do we have in Epcot though?
we got the Norway Princess meal.
Akershus.
True.
Yep, is that it? I'm trying to think. I think that is.
I believe those are the only 2. I mean, you can hop the Skyliner, go to Topolino's, but like that's for breakfast
Cape
only.
May,
Those.
walk out the back
Cape
and do
May,
Cape
yep.
May, but
Oh.
that's only breakfast for
Mhm.
character meals.
So we've given you something to think about. That's the teacher answer, right? We're not going to give you the answer. We're just going to give you something to think about. So present it to the ladies and take a straw
Yes.
poll and see what happens. But
Look
there
at
you
the
go.
menus for sure. I always say look at the menus. Too.
Always look at the menus.
All right, I'm doing this.
That should be a
Pat.
fun trip though.
Absolutely, have fun. All right, I'm reading this one without reading the whole question. So here we go, Patrick. Traveling to the world this June with my wife and 8-month-old daughter. Woo. Actually, it's 8-month-old's good. Like, dude, 18 months old. Good luck, bro. It'll be my first time we fly and travel with our daughter. And we're first-time parents. Congratulations. So we're guessing we'll need to take it slow, but we'll also be with my sister, husband, and 2 elementary school age kids. So we'll have some extra hands at least. We're staying at the boardwalk. We've been debating whether to do 4-day park hoppers or just 4-day standard tickets. Will 4-day park hoppers be too much with our 8-month-old? Ooh, you're asking park hoppers.
She's asking the wrong. I mean, we're all going to be on the same
dude,
page.
Yes,
here.
we're all like
sure.
hopper because it just opens up opportunities for dining. I can't see Pam. There you are. Because the question was so long. Park hoppers, it just opens up opportunities to not have to concentrate so hard on like, where are we going to end up for dinner? Or, where do we want to go after maybe like the kid is having a rough morning? We don't have to go back to that park. We go to this park. Do we all say that just the opportunity to have the park hopper just opens ultimate flexibility?
It does. And then plus, I think I always tell people I find more value in park hopping because you can take advantage of extra magic hours. The early, I know they're not called extra magic hours anymore.
Early
but
park entry.
early morning.
Early morning. What is that? It's just get up and go. We're going to call it.
Yes, you can take advantage of that, or you could, if you're staying at a deluxe or a deluxe villa resort, you can take advantage of the evening extra time in the parks. So I think that offers a value. I think the other way it offers value is if one of the parks close early, like Animal Kingdom often does, then you can go to one of the other parks. And that's based on everyone's, feeling at that point in time. And with an 8-month-old and even with adults, that can vary day to day. But sometimes you're having a really good day, right? Everyone's like in a great mood and you have a ton of energy and you just like feel like you can go that evening and maybe you hop over to Magic Kingdom and see the fireworks again, or go over to Hollywood Studios and see Phantasmic or, any of those things. So I cannot ever get past the park hoppers, and I park hop almost every day. So,
but the rule is for park hopper, don't forget, get it and use it, and get it before the trip, because if you don't want to get it halfway through the trip, because then it's an all or nothing proposition, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to pay the
cost.
same. It's the same cost whether you buy it. Say it's a 7-night trip and you buy it on day 4, you're paying for those first 3 days that you never had the opportunity to use it. So you don't want to buy it at that point. It's kind of dumb at that point,
Right, exactly.
You want to commit to it before the trip and just use it a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to pay for it the same price. So buy it and use it is what I say.
And Lightning Lane works with the park hopper too. That's something that we get a lot of questions on, whether they can use Lightning Lane with the park hopper, and you absolutely can. The system is smart enough to know that and to allow you to make reservations in 2 different parks. So it's awesome.
And we're a point counterpoint kind of podcast. And Veronica over on YouTube says, listen, drinking around the continents in Animal Kingdom is underrated.
Absolutely.
It's not like drinking around the world.
So we got drinking around the world.
Something about me with park hoppers, though. I don't know if I said this before, but I'm sure you two kind of feel the same way. It almost feels like you get an extra day within a day.
It's like double. It's 2 experiences in a day. Yeah, exactly.
Because it gets you, especially with that family dynamic. I think you're gonna want a break in the middle of the day.
100%.
So for me, with the park hopper, I just love going back to my resort, going back to the boardwalk in this case, relaxing for a little bit, changing your clothes maybe sometimes too, and then it feels like, oh my God, it's a brand new day now. Now I'm gonna go to Hollywood Studios and I'm starting fresh over again, and you could probably think that if you went back to Magic Kingdom, if you started your day there, but there's something mentally with me, going to a different park that just feels like it's been refreshed for a brand new day. So I feel like I get more out of my vacation because of it. I'm getting more park days in quotes.
I agree. No, I totally agree with that. It is. It's like when you were at Magic Kingdom, each park has its own vibe. And especially Magic Kingdom has a very distinct vibe. And so let's say you spent all morning there. If in the evening, afternoon, that's where I was going back, I don't know that I'd be as excited as if I were going to another park that evening and then going back to Magic Kingdom another day.
Exactly right.
It's like it's all new. So
that's why you always have to go park hopper.
And now that I look at it, they're going in June. So here's just another thing to add to that. It's a total reset, right? You go you go early in the morning, you go rope drop, you do whatever park rope drop till lunchtime, noon. You set your ADR up for the second park, right? Or around that second park. It doesn't have to be say you want to go to Epcot that night, eat at Trattoria El Forno on the boardwalk because you're there or something, whatever, somewhere in that general geography. But you take that afternoon break, you got an 8-month-old. The 8-month-old goes back and takes a nap and gets some coolness in the hotel room. The elementary kids are going to want to have some pool time. You grab a shower, put on a new outfit for the evening because that'll make you feel refreshed. It's a total reset, and
outfit changes means a lot to me.
Exactly, and what Scott just said, it's like getting 2 days in one day. It really is a mental reset, and it's almost like getting 2 days in one. It is.
Your 5-day trip just turned into a 10-day trip.
It is crazy. Mentally, it's like, oh my God, we get because you look at your pictures, where was I that day? No, it's the same day. It's just that night. It's just it's sunset. Right. It is wild, but Scott's exactly right. It's like 2 days in one. All right, question here from Sean. Do you know if Anna and Elsa are at the Norway breakfast? We have friends going later this year for the first time with their 2-year-old daughter who loves Frozen. They're not at the breakfast, but you could go right over there and get a picture though after the breakfast at the meet and greet, right?
Exactly.
That's exactly what you can
do. I love that meet and greet setup. I love that addition to the park. I know it's been around several years now, but they added those 10 out of 10 SG rated restrooms over there too.
That's right.
Then I just love the whole theme of that. One of my funniest character meet and greets was there with me and Georgia, our friend David from Georgia. Him and I just went in there and met the princesses. It was a good time.
There you go.
It's so awkward when it's 2 dudes meeting the princess. So I'm just saying.
Hey, how's it going? How's Norway? How's Sven? How's Olaf? Okay, we're gonna leave now.
Yeah, we're gonna move our way into the unknown.
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome. Into the unknown. Get
That's
out.
too funny.
That's the jam, though. I like that song.
Get out. Just like a Jungle Cruise skipper. We could be very polite and get out. And I love that Patrick says, I can't wait for my wife to listen to this drops. Going to casually let her listen to the show while she's on the treadmill. Yes, we encourage people when they're prisoner of the treadmill. A great time to listen to our podcast. Absolutely. Because you can't, hit the buttons to change to another show. We appreciate that. All right. Another question from Morgan over in the inbox. Morgan is in Manassas, Virginia. Hello, Mike, Pam, Ricky, and Scott. We were able to snag a fantastic AP discount for a resort view room at the Grand Floridian this July, so we'll be staying there for just one night before a cruise. We're typically value moderate resort stayers, so we're super excited to treat ourselves to even one night at the Grand. We're a family of 4 with 2 boys, ages 2.5 and 11 months at the time of the trip. I'm wondering how you all would spend a day here to soak up all the fun the Grand has to offer. We're considering popping briefly into the Magic Kingdom or Epcot via the monorail, but we want to spend most of the day at the resort. We plan to fly in early from DC to get the most out of our day. I'd love to hear your ideas on where to eat for our lunch, dinner, and breakfast the following morning with any other suggestions you may have. I'd also love to hear your thoughts on the tea room, as the website doesn't give a ton of information on it. Thanks from a longtime listener, Morgan in Virginia. Oh, you're going to love it. That hotel will get you primed for a cruise. I can tell you that first, you're going to love your cruise. But this is the best way to get ready for a cruise is at the Grand, because it's fancy. It's fancy, but it's not like uninviting. I used to think it was like I couldn't go there. I thought for sure if Mike Rallman went in there, I'd get kicked in the butt. And they don't kick me out, which is incredible. So, yes. Okay, Scotty G, this is kind of your jam, too. You take a first stab at this. What do you think?
Yeah, so sorry, I just got a text that Emily's school is closed tomorrow, so I'm just going to be very excited about that.
Is it because of the cold or the snow? What you got?
I think it's a combo of both.
I just like to know these things. Okay, good.
And today, she has that app, like guess the predictor for a snow day, and it had it at 31%. So
see, it's like an over/under show right here. Boom, right here. Yes, bam.
Yeah, but don't you love like the interesting personal breaking news on a Be Our Guest podcast?
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Okemos High School is closed on Tuesday, but it's
yes. Anyway, we all did this for the last Be Our Guest podcast cruise. We're all at the Grand Floridian.
Yes, we were absolutely.
Yeah, and it's great for pre-cruise for sure. And I know they were talking about like meals and everything. Gasparilla, I think, is one of my favorite counter services at all of Walt Disney World. So you have like a nice pool day. You take advantage of the awesome pools. There's two great pools at Grand Floridian, and then hop over to Gasparilla, have a nice sandwich or something, maybe have like a little dessert of some sort. I think that just makes for a really nice, relaxing thing. And there's tons of activities you can do throughout the resort. I know there's a question about the tea room. Tea room hasn't been open since 2020, unfortunately. And I know we've had some great memories there. And that's something, Pam, we always talk about, like, why can't they just bring this back, right?
No.
It's January and they're not cruising until July, so there's hope. So just stay tuned. I mean, seriously,
we're bringing it. We're manifesting it.
I know.
Right? Like,
we make things happen because it could come back a bit, but it isn't right now. But let's hope, because that's a great experience. I even liked it. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, because that's the cake bake shop, I think, is doing tea, right?
They are, yeah.
And how fantastic would it be to have that Walt Disney World to bring it back at the Grand Floridian? They have like a couple different options for it, right? But yeah, so I know, as Mike just said, maybe in the next few months, maybe it will come back. It's been gone for a few years, but man, that would be magical, wouldn't it? If the tea room came back, because that was a really great experience.
It would. They have APs. Obviously, got an AP offer, so maybe they're gonna hop in, because obviously the kids don't need tickets. It looks like the 2.5 and 11 months. So they're good. So I'm guessing everybody can hop into the. So you could, the thing is, like, okay, you're excited about, say, the Grand Floridian. I'm thinking fireworks, right? Happily Ever After, must see the night before a cruise. You got to see Happily Ever After. I love that fireworks show. One of the best places I've ever seen it, and I've seen it there a few times, is right outside of Gasparilla's. You can see it right there on the steps, and you can grab like something like an ice cream from Gasparilla's. You can hear they play the music. It's a unique place to see it from. Obviously, you don't see the projections on the castle, but you do see the fireworks. Everybody kind of gathers out there. The Grand One's kind of in that area, the yacht. And it's a great spot if you just want to casually watch Happily Ever After, then make your way back to your room. That's kind of a neat way to do it if you're staying there. Pam, what else would you suggest? You've been there a few times, obviously.
I think, the pools at the Grand Floridian in particular, I really love both of the pools. I like the feature pool that has the slide and the waterfall, but I also really, really enjoy the courtyard pool. I think that's what they call it, the courtyard
Right.
pool. And it has its own sort of bar and quick service area. And the other one does too, but there's just something about that pool. It's big, it's quiet, it's fun. And I think it's definitely worth doing a monorail loop, whether you want to stop and get a snack or something to drink at each location or not. But I think it really lets you sort of embrace what is so cool about the Grand Floridian, and just one of the things that's so cool about the Grand Floridian, but that is the monorail that it goes through there. And that lets you see the Polynesian and also the Contemporary as well. I definitely spend some time seeing the fireworks, I think, from the Grand Floridian. I think that that's cool. It's just a cool vantage point, like Mike said. And I think there's so many great choices for dining at the Grand Floridian. If you're looking for a really good sit-down meal, Narcoossee's or Citrico's is a great choice. You can also go up to the Enchanted Rose, which has drinks and appetizers, not quite as big of a menu as it once did. It's so weird. Steve and I were just talking about this as we sort of look forward to planning a trip, and we were looking at the different lounge menus. Territory Lounge, which for years used to have one of my favorite things to get at a lounge, and that was the fondue. It was just good and whatever. Now one of their offerings is popcorn. I'm like, popcorn. Okay.
Is it just? I mean, so I've only been there that one time. Like I came in for a few minutes, like met a bunch of guys, and we went. Like I don't know where we're going. We went somewhere, but it's just regular popcorn. Like it's just like it's
like flavored popcorn. I think it was like interesting flavored popcorn, and I'm just like,
you don't dip it or anything, or it's just you just eat the popcorn.
You just eat the popcorn. Like that's one of the appetizers that you can order. And I was like,
Enchanted Rose, like at the Grand Floridian's bar.
No, this is a Territory.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm like, how does that match the theme? I'm trying to figure this out.
I know there was something.
Well, that still doesn't match the theme.
No,
well, I mean, it fits really better at Wilderness Lodge. It's almost like a trail mix or something. It fits better.
I think if I sat there and they put a bowl of popcorn in front of me that like it was included in the drink price that I was ordering, like that, I would be more impressed with. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, I know. So I'm just sort of like, sometimes they add stuff to the lounge menu that I'm like, oh, this is a great addition. Like I'm going there specifically for that. And sometimes they take it away. So anyways, but there are some good choices, but it's worth doing that. To go ahead and head around and do those things. Plus, the other thing you can always do is take the monorail or the walkway over to the Polynesian and go to Trader Sam's, which does allow kids before, I think it is 8:00 at night, is the cutoff time for kids. So.
Plus, just one other thing to remember, you do have a character meal at your resort there if you want to do that. So you got 1900 Park Fair.
Yes, I forgot about that. It's back.
Yeah, little kids might like that. You get some awesome pictures. But the thing is, remember, here's a couple things to remember. You're going on a cruise, you're going to get tons of character interaction on the cruise. So don't fret that if you don't want to spend the extra money because you're already, kind of splurging. You said you're kind of value moderate people. So you're, maybe you're, like me, like I don't like to spend extra money where I don't need to. You're going to get lots of character pictures on the cruise. So maybe you don't want to splurge at 1900 Park Fair, but maybe you do. So think about that. But if you want a nice sit down meal that's kind of budget friendly, actually, is Grand Floridian Cafe. That's a great. I know, sure. Scott, you're kind of bitter because they took away your lobster thermidor and all that stuff. Dude, Scott's still mad about that.
Burger.
I get it. It is a good burger. I know it is a great burger, but they still do have a good chicken dish.
I think the breakfast now would be my main meal there because of that change. Because the breakfast is really good, but I know
it's every day.
Yeah,
like a brunch.
It is like a brunch. You're right. Yeah, but you were talking about how they have APs as the discount, but like I would just recommend just staying like having like a resort day and chill day. That's kind of like the route I would go. Like I think we're all like in agreement there, and I don't know if everyone has the AP anyway, but like just make it a fun like monorail crawl, hang out resort kind of day.
Because as soon as you go into the Magic Kingdom, dude, you're just tempted, and you're going to be committed for like 3 hours of just running yourself ragged. Because it's always one more.
So when you make that splurge, right, for a deluxe, when you're normally doing values and moderate, it's like enjoy the resort. Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. Well, Scotty G got on the green, so I got to get this question for our good friend Len, who you met down at the beach club, who is a
right.
fellow Sparty fan. And he says, "Hey, Mike," and this is for the show here. On our trip this April, we're traveling with my son's family down to the Riv. My grandson is a big fan of the animated Ariel. From our research, we understand that she can be seen at Akershus or Cinderella's roll table. It also seems that you can't really count on Ariel always appearing at every meal. I came up with a possible strategy that I'm wondering if you could give your opinion on if this may work or not. Without an ADR, do you think we could ask at the check-in desk if Ariel was appearing, and if she was, do you think we could have any luck getting a walk-up table for 6? I would guess that for Cinderella's, the answer is a laughable no. But any chance of that working at Akershus? Thanks for entertaining my weird idea, Len. So they're trying to get to meet Ariel. Like they're trying to make that happen, but they're trying to figure out like
doesn't she still meet in her grotto?
Yeah,
Does
that's
she?
what I was going to say.
I was just searching. I was like, oh, did the grotto close that I didn't know about? But
no, wait.
like,
so the grotto is still next to the ride back at the new Fantasyland?
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot about that.
I just searched it to make sure, like, oh, did it is it temporarily closed or something?
Oh, well, that would solve
and
the problem.
maybe it might be under refurbishment in April, but I would just go to the grotto.
Now, does it matter? Because he
And
says
that
his
would be the
grandson.
animated Ariel,
Is
too.
it the animated Ariel? Because does that matter? I don't know. Okay.
That would be the animated Ariel though at the grotto.
Okay. Well, that would solve
So that would be my suggestion.
I'm not sure.
Huh.
That's the photo they have on the website.
Oh, do they? Okay, good. Yeah. I was like, I knew at one point it had changed, but yes.
So they are. But back to the question about the meals too. The Akershus, the Cinderella's World. I mean, Len is a well experienced Disney World traveler, and he knows that the chances are probably you're not going to get a walk up for 6 at either of those places. But again, does it hurt to ask? Probably not if you're in the neighborhood.
It doesn't hurt to ask,
Never
but I think it would be
Probably
challenging.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes what's weird is I feel like sometimes the character meals are less inclined to do walk-ups than sometimes other meals because they sort of have it planned where people are going to be and blah, blah, blah and whatnot. It just, I don't know. Every now and then it's just, I think to myself, dang, I wish they were a little more flexible in that, but it's hard to do a walk up at some of the more popular things. I would definitely plan on meeting Ariel though at her grotto.
That's a good tip.
That's
well, here's one other thing.
Plus, it's like a beautiful setting. I love like the grotto atmosphere. Like it's so good.
Yeah, that's true. Well, plus Cinderella's Royal Table is prepaid, so people are going to show up for that. You know, you're not going to have people not showing
That's
up.
when people don't cancel.
Exactly, dude. You're paying, and it's fortune. Akershus is not prepaid, I don't think, but Cinderella's Royal Table is. And here's the other thing, just to be totally honest, I doubt the check-in person really knows who's like actively in the rotation at any given moment. They're probably not that in tune to like who's walking around in the restaurant at any given point. They're probably just seating people. You know what I'm saying? I bet you they don't know like who's in there at any given time. You know, because they're probably like so busy with just getting people to their tables. They probably know that there's characters meeting, but they probably don't know if Ariel's like one of the people at any given time. They could probably go in and take a peek for you, maybe. You know, there's many times in my job, the most obvious things I don't know because I'm so like worried about like the fine details. It's like, yeah, what time's the park open? Was Magic Kingdom open today? I don't know because I can tell you what the room rate is at Animal Kingdom Lodge. You know, I don't know what the discount is. It's like, dude, don't ask me the obvious. All right, Veronica says animated Ariel's at Magic Kingdom, live action is at Hollywood Studios. So we got that in the chat. Thank you, Veronica. All right,
good. Thank you.
Heidi has a question. Heidi ho, about ESPN transportation. So here we go. Hey, Mike, and BRGP crew, I'm headed down to Disney World in 2 weeks for my daughter's high school dance nationals competition. Good luck with that. Howell is headed there too. While we have visited Disney World a number of times in the past, we've never been there while attending a competition at the ESPN Sports Complex. So I have a few questions about transportation. We're planning to stay at Pop Century. Are there buses that will take us back and forth between Pop Century and the ESPN Sports Complex? We are also hoping to travel directly from the ESPN Sports Complex to the parks on a few of the days to our of our visit. Is bus transportation offered to any of the parks directly from the ESPN Sports Complex? I know as a cheer dad, you're familiar with what to expect at competitions held at Disney World. So if there's any other helpful insight you'd like to add, it'd be much appreciated. Thanks so much. I enjoy listening to every episode of the podcast and haven't missed one over the past 5 years. Thanks again, Heidi from Boise, Idaho. Yes, thanks for listening up in Idaho. First of all, good luck to your squad. I think hit 0 still counts for dance squads, but no deductions, and have a good time and kill it out there on the mat. And yes, okay, so the way it's going to work is you are going to have charter buses way at the end of Pop Century. They're going to be most likely, we just ask at the front desk to be sure, but just follow the herd. But typically they're down at the very end by Animal Kingdom stop, like the very end towards the 90s buildings. Like that's where they'll put the buses that are going to escort you over to ESPN complex. And they're going to look different than the Disney transport buses. They're going to be like the big motor coaches, the big comfortable buses, to be honest. And they'll have like a thing on the front that'll say ESPN. And so you get on that, it'll take you over to ESPN. That's great. And they run usually every 15, 20 minutes. They just continuously run throughout the competition. Now, can you go directly from ESPN to the parks? I don't think they do run to the parks. I think you do have to go back to your hotel and then catch a bus from Pop Century to whatever theme park you want to go to. I don't think you can do that. I can't remember because we never went like from...
So I would agree with that, just from a Run Disney perspective. But I don't know about these other competitions. But I don't think they run buses to the.
I don't think they do either during cheer. I mean, I don't think we ever did, but I never remember seeing like a slot for like Magic Kingdom. But there was always something back to every hotel. I mean, but here's another trick though. Here's a hack. If you don't want to go, but I mean, here's the thing though. ESPN and Pop Century are really close, so. I was going to say, like, if you're really far, say if you're like at the Contemporary and you wanted to go to Animal Kingdom, you probably wouldn't want to get on a bus from ESPN to the Contemporary. You could just get on a bus from ESPN to Art of Animation and get on a bus from Art of Animation to the studios. You know what I'm saying? And catch a Skyliner to the, you got to be think about it.
That's what I would do too. Like, I would take an Epcot bus and walk Epcot.
Right. So you don't necessarily got to go back to your hotel to go to a theme park, but you probably got to go to a hotel. And so you got to think about like what's closest and what's the most efficient way to get there. So remember, like,
I did that at Magical Express once from a Run Disney race, because I was staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge and that was going to be the 5th stop, but the first one was Pop. I'm like, well, I'm going to get off at Pop because I had to go to the expo, you know? So I'm going to get off at Pop first, and then I'll just take the bus from there, and then I'll eventually get to Animal Kingdom. Sometimes you can get creative with some of those hacks with the buses like that.
Yeah, so that's what I would say. Just kind of think about if you want to, just be creative. And the whole thing is with these dance competitions, you are there a long time just waiting for your team to get into the, you're watching 70 other teams from all around the world, and then you're just waiting for your 2.5 minutes on the mat. So just kind of like look at the schedule and say, okay, this is what we want to do. And, also be the spokesperson for your team and get everybody moving in the right direction. So once your team performs and they're ready to move, you're taking your pictures, you get everybody going and you guys get going to the theme parks and just have a good time. And also ESPN will have food and beverages. So if you want to get they will serve beers out there. They will serve, you're not going to get a great meal out there. That's the thing you got to watch for. They'll have like pretzels and hot dogs and nachos and kind of bad wings and stuff like that. So they'll have, stuff you would find at all the cheer dance competitions you'll go to around the country, because you've obviously done that many times, but you're going to want to go somewhere to get dinner. So I would maybe make an ADR. My go-to, I always get the team to go over to Old Key West. We always go to Olivia's because you can get a lot of people in there kind of last minute, boom, and everybody gets a good meal. Or go to City Works. We've gone to Disney Springs comes in prime. We've gone to Paradiso 37 because you can walk up there. I know that's not everybody's jam. We've gone to Splitsville, but you want to have a place where you can go and get everybody in that has a wide variety of menu options, because you're always going to have picky eaters with cheerleaders and dance girls, but everybody finds something they like. So just kind of have that in the back of your mind. Go get a good meal besides the food you're going to get at the arena over at ESPN. It's enough to get you through like a long afternoon, but dude, you don't want to eat it for 18 hours. It's just saying. You've been there, Scott, right? You don't want to eat that stuff all the time. All right, I think we have one last question. Let's do it quick. It's a Keys to the Kingdom tour question. Hello, BOG crew. I'm going on my first ever solo trip in February and staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Thanks so much to Mike for booking this trip. Thank you. I'm taking the Keys to the Kingdom tour and have a start time of 8 a.m. What is the best way to get there? And when should I leave? I'm not opposed to taking a minivan. Also, do they have a place where you can put your belongings like a backpack? Or would I have to carry whatever I come with for the tour? Thanks for always being so positive and providing me with great conversations to listen to on my drive to work. Kara is up in Massachusetts. Scott, you just did Keys to the Kingdom just in the last little bit. So what advice do you have for Kara? Like what time? She's 8 a.m. Keys tour. She's staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
8 a.m. I would get on their first resort bus because the buses run early. You know, they want to get you there, and you have the. I'm guessing the park probably opens at 8, maybe if there's an 8 a.m. tour. Like, I don't think it starts during like the extended magic hours, so that wouldn't make sense to me. So the park might open a little early, but yeah, just get on that first bus. It normally starts like an hour to 90 minutes before park opening. So just make sure you catch that first bus. That's what we did when we did ours. And then when it comes to like storing stuff, like, yeah, you would just whatever like you come with, like you come with your backpack with things, you would just take that with you. Maybe you could rent a locker space. That's something I've actually never done in the parks. Like, I don't know if either of you have done that. I've never like stored anything like within a locker, so I don't even know like how big they are, honestly. But I would just plan to maybe travel a little light because you would be taking that with you when you go on the tour.
And I would say make sure you pay attention to like restricted items because they do have things you can and cannot bring because you are going backstage, and these tours do have those things. So you can go online and just Google Keys to the Kingdom Tour Magic Kingdom, and it will tell you restricted items. And there are like special things, like sometimes you got to wear closed-toed shoes, stuff like that. So just be familiar if you ever go on a Disney tour that they do have requirements and restrictions. Pam, any other tips for things like this because you've done these tours?
I think too, I was just going to echo what Scott said, is just be mindful of what you're taking with you. They do have lockers, not specific for that tour, but for any guests entering the park that day. It has been a long while since I've used these too. I think the last time Han was really little, so that tells you how long it is. The dimensions actually for the lockers are online so that you can see how big of a bag you could leave there if you wanted to pick it up afterwards. So
I think they have
enjoy the tour is awesome.
Yeah,
You're gonna have a great time, even as like a you listen to the podcast, so you probably have a pretty good knowledge of Disney. Like, you will hear some things but you're definitely going to pick up on some things, and it's just cool. Like, each guy kind of tells their story a little different too, I think. So you'll have a lot of fun with it.
It's just cool to actually be in those environments, right? I mean, and the whole thing too about tours, like, you just feel like a VIP, right? Because you got the earpiece, you got the earpiece in, and people are like, the VIP guys walking, your guy or gals walking with like a stick, and you're just like, yeah, I'm on the tour, and you get a little gift. It's awesome. I mean, everybody deserves that. Like, it's a fun experience. It really is. You're a Disney fan. Like, it's good to treat yourself. Like, that's a whole thing. Like, solo trip is a perfect time to do a tour like this too. Like, because and the thing is also being on a solo trip, the camaraderie of that group is like everybody in that group for the most part is probably going to be like a Disney nerd, right? And like it's your people. I mean, Disney nerd in the best way possible, right? It's your people. I love it. Yeah,
because they do the lunch where you sit as privately as a group. At least they did what I did. Like at what's that place? Columbia Harbor House. They kind of had you upstairs, like in your own roped off area. So you'll probably sit with some other maybe solo travelers or another small group, so you get to learn about them. And kind of reminds me, I've never done it, but kind of reminds me of Adventures by Disney a little bit. Yeah. You got your private group, and then you get to learn about them. Who knows? You might meet a new friend for life from this tour.
Yeah, totally. It's so fun. You're gonna have so much fun. So, Kara, thanks for the kind words, and have a good time on your tour next month. February will be here before you know it. All right, so we're going to get out of here. We're going to be back on Friday, though. We got a great topic for you. Scott and Pam and I will be together, and we're just going to talk about, we're kind of take it back to the basics. When I was down there last month, or just a couple of weeks ago for the marathon, I was down there solo myself, and I got to thinking, it's not always the big things that really make me kind of re-fall in love with the Disney parks with my vacations. And one of the things that really stuck out with me about the trip, one of the small moments that I really enjoyed, and I think I was talking about this with Simon on the call-in show the other night, was I had a chicken parm sandwich at Pinocchio's Village House one afternoon. And I just sat there and I watched the boats go by at Small World, enjoyed that sandwich. And they had skinny fries. I don't know where the skinny fries came from, but the fries were good. The chicken parm sandwich was good. It was kind of a cold afternoon. I just sat at the table, mess with social media, wave to the people in the boats, and just watch everybody go by in Fantasyland. Because I was kind of at that first table where you could see the traffic in Fantasyland outside of Peter Pan. And I was just like, this is the good stuff, man. I didn't get in a hurry. I wouldn't have nowhere to go. And a few other moments like that happened throughout the trip. So we're going to kind of go around and just talk about where it's not always necessarily like rushing to the next lightning lane and stuff like that. Some of the basic small moments that really kind of make us re-fall in love with our Disney trips, even after 20, 30 times going down. It really makes it special for us. Come on back for that. We'll share ours, and then hopefully we can continue that conversation on Sunday night and on the Discord over in the clubhouse too as well. All right, don't forget today's podcast always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We've been busy as beavers planning those trips for our guests this week. I'm telling you, man, people are ready to get out of the cold weather makes people book Disney trips. I will tell you that firsthand. My fingers falling off because when that temperature drops, people are like, man, I got to get out of this stuff. And I'm right with you, man. I'm just telling you, but cruise, yeah, let's do it. You want to go to Disneyland? Oh, okay. You want to go to Walt Disney World? Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Beach Club sounds really good when the wind chill's like 15 below. Let's do it. So come on over to themagicforless.com. You can see all the details, great trip planning site. And while you're there, fill out the quote form, costs you nothing. And then we'll get you some numbers, some availability, talk to you about some options, and bam, boom, bing. And before you know it, it'll be July. You'll be like, oh my God, it's so hot. I'll be like, yeah, but you booked this when the wind chill was 15 below back in January, and you're go get a margarita. You're sitting at Beach Club. You're at Stormalong Bay. It's awesome. And we'll take great care of you. Always get you the best deal. Cost you nothing extra. So check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make the show possible. We could not do this without you. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Give us a follow on the social media at BeOurGuestMike for me, at EpScott for Scott, at TMFLT Pam for Pam. You can also check out Scott at Must See Adventures on YouTube. And right now he's over at Disneyland Paris. So make sure to check out that video as well. All right, we are going to be back on for, don't forget the live show Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Give us a call. We're talking Disney with you. All right, so we'll be back again on Friday. Lots of fun. So we are going to be waiting for you. So be there or be square. That's so old. I don't know why I said that, but I did. All right, we're going to jump out of here. See you on Friday. So for Scott and Pam, I'm Mike. Wishing you a great Wednesday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.